Hey everyone, welcome back to my WrestleMania reviews. Now I'm coming back to you with WrestleMania 2. Let's check this event out. It took place from three different venues. First in Uniondale, New York, then Chicago, then LA. And there was different celebrities, there were different announcers, different ring announcers, different refs, all of across the board for these three different events happening on the same show, WrestleMania 2. Uh, the tandems were Vince McMahon and Susan St. James in New York, Gorilla Monsoon, Orkerlund and Kathy Lee Crosby in Chicago, Jesse Ventura, Lord Alfred Hayes, and Elvira in LA. I would name the ring announcers, but none of them mattered other than to think who was in New York during the events. I don't think you care that Chet Kopic was in Chicago. Don't think you care about that. Ray Charles sang a rendition of America the Beautiful before the show. Oh, beautiful. Okay, I will never try that again. I will never. I'm not even American. I'm Canadian, so that's probably why I butchered that. Uh, this is the first event to be taken for the WWF to be on pay-per-view. So, pretty big thing there. The opening contest was Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff versus Magnificent Don Morocco with Mr. Fuji. The main thing from this one was that it was a decent singles match, starting to be that way until the midway point, and then it went to the outside, and both guys stopped listening to the ref, and they counted 10, and it was a double countout. Starting a WrestleMania with a double countout was not very good for the fans. They had 4 minutes and 30 seconds. They chanted bullshit at the end. And Vince McMahon was like, let's get to some more action. Not even caring that the fans were chanting bullshit. Anyway, I give it a star. Next, WrestleMania Randy Savage making in his WrestleMania debut along with Elizabeth against George the Animal Steel, who was in love with Elizabeth. And that's what this story really is. Randy Savage is like a protective boyfriend times 100. His paranoid, schizophrenic, narcissistic, cellist attitude of being the best thing in the world is such Beauty and the Beast parallels. He chased George Steel around the ring. George the Animal Steel gets some offense in, chew on the turnbuckles. Savage made sure he stood away from the ring post. But Savage in the end used his leverage to pin George Steele, and he did that on the ropes, cheating to win. At how many? Yeah, it was 5 minutes and 10 seconds long. Nonetheless, we have our victor. Savage retained the Intercontinental title, and I give that 2 stars, just for the George the Animal Steel and Elizabeth thing. Jake the Snake Roberts versus George Wells. A little bit of backstory, a little bit here. The last match contained George the Animal Steel and Susan St. James on commentary with McMahon. She said that, oh, come on, George. Let's go, George. Yeah, George. Oh, too bad, George. About 100 times. So I was praying. Come on, in the next match, can it not somebody be named George, please? And what did we get? Jake the Snake versus George Wells. And the George was a babyface, again. So that means she's going to be on George's side. And she did it again. Oh, come on, George. Let's go, George. It was painful. Painful. Nonetheless, Jake the Snake got the victory with the DDT, and it didn't take him very long. I believe just a few minutes. Yeah, 3:04. I give this a star. The main event from the LA port. Of course, it's the third city, I say. The main event from the New York portion had Roddy Piper against Mr. T in a boxing match. It's best. Things are better left unsaid. And that's the review of this match. It's a dud. All right, part 2 from Chicago. We got the Gorilla commentating. Fabulous Moolah defends her women's title against Velvet McIntyre. If that doesn't say let's order this pay-per-view, I don't know what does. All right, Fabulous Moolah would do nice hair snaps to Velvet McIntyre, always flipping her over her shoulder. Velvet McIntyre couldn't keep up with the Fabulous Moolah, and at 125, Moolah retained the title. Only a star for this one too, because they didn't last very long, just a minute. This next match would last 10 seconds longer, a minute 35, when Corporal Kirchner and Nikolai Volkov went to a DQ as Kirshner intercepted and blasted the cane to Volkov. Half a star. The NFL Battle Royal. This one had good moments, memorable stuff, so I gave it a star and a half. Andre the Giant last eliminated Bret Hart and threw him onto Jim the Anvil Neidhart. And Bret Hart writes in his book about how far that distance was when he was throwing him. I can only imagine being thrown out of the ring by Hunter the Giant. I can only imagine falling to the floor. The main event for Chicago was the British Bulldogs versus the Dream Team, and this was doesn't your standard tag team match or match for the WWF in '86. They're used to big guys going at a slow, methodical pace. This one, no, this one was the pace of like the NWA at the time, or like where you're seeing Flair and Luger, Flair and Wyndham. This match is a tag team gem. I give it 4 stars. I might be overrating it. I don't give a shit. It was that fun. Um, there's so many frequent tags in this match, so many double team moves that just were crisp. 12:04, Davey Boy covered for the victory, and we have new tag team champions. Now that's how you end the show, not Roddy Piper versus Mr. T. At least Chicago got it right. Come on, New York, let's get with it. Now we're down to LA for the main event of the 3-city show. Steamboat and Hercules put on a decent opener for the LA fans. Steamboat Hercules, I gave this 3 stars as Steamboat won the match. He had his karate chops and his judo chops, and at 7:34, a crossbody off the top got him the victory. Adorable Adrian Adonis with Jimmy Hart versus Uncle Elmer. May they both rest in peace. This match was embarrassing to professional wrestling. A flying headbutt is a victor for Adonis over Elmer at 3:01. It's a dud. Terry Funk and Hoss Funk with Jimmy Hart versus the Junkyard Dog and Tito Santana. Man, Jimmy Hart must have been busy back then. He's always running from match to match, just like Heenan was. Gotta respect, though. That's an underrated part of wrestling, those managers back then. But thank God we got back to good matches. Hercules and Steamboat and the Dream Team Bulldogs matches can't be the only thing good here, right? Even though I enjoyed Randy Savage and George Steele, but that was not a great match. This one was. Hoss Funk and Dory Funk within the Funks. You can tell why they brought their game. JYD was so over with the crowd. His headbutts were doing everything. In the end, Terry Funk pinned JYD after hitting him with Hart's megaphone at 11:42. Fun match here. 3.5 stars. I rated it. Again, it could be over about half a star too much, but I enjoyed this one. Now we got the main event: Hogan versus King Kong Bundy with Bobby Heenan in his corner. Heenan always was this like heel wrestler, just this evil. Like he plays like the evil boss who always says he's going to get the better of you, but then the good guy always comes to the end and wins. That's like Heenan and Hulk Hogan when it came to WrestleMania. It would follow the next year and then the years after, and Heenan always tried to get the better of Hogan, but never could. Hogan actually and King Kong Bundy actually did a really good job at this match. Not really good, but about as good as he could do considering the talent. I give it 2.25 stars as Hogan sent the fans home happy as he got the win with the leg drop at 10:15. Then he beat on Heenan in the ring afterwards. This WrestleMania was just a little bit better work rate rise than WrestleMania 1, but it didn't mean as much as WrestleMania 1. However, I don't think it's worse than WrestleMania 1, so I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 because I gave WrestleMania 1 a 6 out of 10. So I think it's only fair to give this one. The shows will get better from here, folks, so stay with us. Stay tuned to the review. You don't want to miss WrestleMania 3. All right, I'm Brett Mix. This is Macho Wrestling 101. Stay subscribed. Subscribe if you haven't. It's right below me, and I'd appreciate help me get my feet off the floor, help my channel get big, because I love talking wrestling, and it's what I know. So thank you very much for staying here and watching this. See you on the next one, hopefully. Brett Mix, and I'm out.